I did write a sermon. But I'm going to go way off script here. So, Miller's used to me going off script. So this parable from Matthew, it can be a little disconcerting at best. But remember that for Matthew, actions and belief and grace are all intertwined together. Belief is action and action is belief. Now this parable on this first level that we come to is, it seems it's about money. But it's not. This parable is not about money. A lot of times this passage is used for stewardship stewardship drives. It is not about money. The talent is, in the ancient times, a talent was equal to like 15 years of wages for a laborer. So one slave got 5 talents. That's a lot of money. The other one got what? 10, and then 5, and then 1. Wasn't that right?
Mm-hmm. 5, 2, and 1.
5, 2, and 1. 5, 2, and 1. Regardless of which one, they all got a lot. To their ability, it says in that. But everybody got something. And remember, go back to the other parable of where the people got different wages, even though some they got the same, they got what they agreed to. So bring that forward to this. They all got something. But this is all about grace, not money. It's God's grace that's coming to us. And this parable is mostly about the third servant. Slave is what it says, but I prefer the word servant. The third servant. The other two did something with their grace. They did something with the grace that was given them. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Come into my joy. That means, come. You're a part of it. You're in the family now. Remember, this is also about the coming of Christ. This parable is also about the coming of Christ. Then the third servant took his grace and buried it in the ground. Now, I'm here to confess with you, to you and with you, that we squander our grace that's given us every day. Speaking for myself, I know I do. So when the master says, you lazy and wicked slave, maybe the servant was fearful that he might lose. What if I lost that talent? What if I lost that grace? First of all, the grace that God gives us, we can't lose. But we can bury it, like this servant did. And I ask myself this question, why? Why do I bury my grace? Why do I squander it? And sometimes it's because I am lazy, in a way. When I could have acted a certain way and didn't. When I could have acknowledged a need and turned my head instead. Maybe out of fear. But most often out of, I've got something else I need to do. I'm going to call that laziness. And in doing that, I have allowed myself to be wicked. Who knows who knows what? And I'm talking about me, but I'm including all of us. Who knows what we may have done if we had taken the grace that God had given us and let it flow. It's a hard parable, especially that part about those that have will get more, and those that don't have are going to get even less. But remember, it's not about money or things. It's not. It's about grace. Those that take the grace and do something with it, and those that take the grace and bury it in the ground. That's who this is about. It's not about money. You know, the master doesn't say that he doesn't reap where he didn't sow and whatever else it was said. He doesn't deny it. He says, oh, you knew that, did you? If we're talking about the master, where hasn't God sown and reaped? And let grace flow over us. But again, for Matthew, grace and action are intimately connected. For Matthew, they cannot be dissected. And we could go into works versus grace, you know, which one is salvation? My argument is both. If you say you have the belief and you do nothing with it, I don't see what good it does to you. You've buried it in the ground. Faith, I have faith, but you don't do anything with it. Again, you buried the grace in the ground. And it's all interposed with free will. None of the slaves were told what they needed to do. I'm giving you this, I'm giving you this, and I'm giving you this. I'm leaving. I'll be back. So yes, it's never been one of my favorite parables, but when you start peeling off, as most of the parables, all of the parables, you start peeling off the layers and going down and figuring out, you know, what was being said here? What was the context of this? And it's actually, now I find it a very beautiful parable, especially taking that layer of money off of it, which again, it's not about money. But I will leave you with this. As any first century banker would tell you, not using the grace that God has given you results in loss of interest. Again, it's not about money. Amen.
Amen.